Alright, in this video about coordinate geometry, I'm going to teach what is the gradient of a line and how do we find it. A gradient of a line can also be called its slope. This is a slope. If you roll a stone over here and it will roll down, it's a slope. Or we can also call it its rise over run form. It's rise over run form. Suppose it's a runner, he's going up the hill. Okay, and so the rise over run is how much height he gains while he gains a certain distance in this direction. Like if he gains 2 meters height, and at the same time he covers 1 meter. So this will become rise over run, 2 over 1. Its gradient is 2. Okay, so how do we find the gradient of a line on an xy plane? On this plane we have here this xy plane. Okay, I'll just raise it off for a while and let's take an example. Suppose we have a line over here which crosses, it's 4an minus 2. Suppose we have a line which crosses this. What is its gradient? Okay, first of all, we just write their coordinates. Its coordinate is 4, 0, because the x coordinate is 4 and y coordinate is 0. Okay, over here our coordinate is 0, minus 2, because our horizontal displacement is 0 and vertically we have displaced minus 2 units downwards. Okay, so the gradient formula is y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. That is just like the distance formula. But in the distance formula we had x2 minus x1, y2 minus y1, and we had root sign while the both values were squared. Well, you don't need to know that for a while right now. Okay, so let's just assume let's take it as P1 and let's take it as P2. You can take any points on this line. You can take this point and this point and just put the x2, x1 and y2 and y1. Here we have this P1 and this is our x1 and this is our y1. This is our x2 and this is our y2. These points, these coordinates. You can take this as P2 and this as P1, it's up to you. Okay, let's just put these values in. We have our y2 is minus 2 and minus is of the formula, and y1 it's 0. And x2, what do we have as x2? Our x2 is 0 minus, and we have our x1 as 4. Okay, so here we have minus 2 divided by minus 4. These minus cancel out, become positive, and we get 1.2 as its gradient. A gradient can be positive or negative. It depends upon the slope. You can remember it as, see it as a stick. This is a stick and it's falling on the right side. If a stick is falling on the right side, the gradient is positive. And if the stick is falling on the left side, suppose this is the line. This is falling on the left side. Its gradient will be negative. We can see it by, let's say this point as 3. I just clean it up a bit so you can get it better. Okay, here I took 2 points. This minus 3, 4 and 4, minus 1. As I said before, that whenever your stick falls on the left side, the gradient will be negative. We will just check it now. Here we have our, let's give any of these points, the P1 and P2. Say this P1 and say this P2. It's totally up to you, whichever you give the points. Okay, here we have P2 as, y2 is, or this is y2 and this is x2. And this is our x1 and y1. Okay, here we have our y2 as our y2 is 4 minus, and our y1 is minus 1. Remember, whenever this is a negative sign, we will put it like this. This minus sign is of the formula. We do not mess with this. Okay, here we have this x1 4, no, x2 minus 3 minus 4. Okay, then when we solve it we get 4 plus 1, and we get here minus 3 minus 4, we get minus 7. Okay, when we further solve it we get 5 divided by minus 7. This is our gradient. This becomes minus 2. Minus will become overall minus 5 divided by 7. As I told you, this will be negative. This is how we find the gradient of a line on an xy plane. The gradient has a lot of uses. It's very useful in writing the equation of a line. In this next video we will cover what the equation of a line is. You can find its link in the description below. And that's it for now. I'll see you next time.